right? What we do is, so typically, here's another example of how we're different from VCs. So say you have this long development cycle. Say this is like 10 years. Right? And a lot of funds are 10-year funds. So a lot of times you're going to have these losses pile up, get bigger and bigger, and they're just hoping for the day that this starts to turn around, and you're getting this, like, they call it the J curve, right? So like, oh my God, we're losing money, and you're suddenly, you start getting traction, start getting momentum. The tool starts getting developed, or starts getting traction out in the market. So that's typically what you're looking at over a huge swath of time, right? And that's what happens when you develop, technology that's new and that takes a long time to develop, right, or to get to market. Now we do something totally different. We are not really at all interested in something like that. We're interested in this, right? So what we do is take the very best technology that's already out there. And believe me when I tell you, there is no more technology that we need to leverage. Like, all the stuff that's out there, trust me when I say it's not being used to the greatest extent possible. So we'll develop some sort of tech stack, right? So like, we'll be using all kinds of software. Usually, we'll white label it or come to some sort of partnership agreement. We'll tie it up into a single tech stack, and then we'll bring on extraordinarily good people that have experience in this area, right? And we put the people and the very best tech that's available wrapped up into a package, and we provide a killer fucking service, right? So Audely is a great example of that. We didn't invent the podcast platform. We didn't invent the recording studio. We didn't invent the mechanism to monetize them effectively and tracking mechanisms there. We didn't invent the mechanisms that looks at performance and tracking and audience analytics. But we put it all together, put incredibly good producers behind it, form a marketing plan, right? Create the shingle, if you will, that these two can stand behind, and then we go out there and provide great services. Now notice, these guys are paid on a profit sharing basis, right? These are usually monthly service charges or per seat. So our risk here on all this J curve, because usually what happens 9 times out of 10 is you do this J curve and then bam, right here at the bottom, you're done. That's what happens. It's very rare that you get this huge actual, curve to the J, right? The hockey stick. That's actually extremely rare. And so, VCs go out there and they say, I can find it. I can find the unicorn. That's how they market themselves, right? So usually what happens is there's a VC firm that finds one, right? And then everybody at that firm goes out and says, hey, I was the guy that at this firm found one. And so then they go out there and raise a big fund, and then it crashes and burns, half the time at least. So anyway, this model allows us to invest in areas where we're not praying for acceptance in the market, right? We can develop these things over time. Now, this is maybe something you could do by, we've got patience for this. But the thing about Inventure is we don't just have these great people and this great tech stack. We've got the whole management team behind them, right? So we've got CMO, CTO, CPO, all of these operators that are functionally aligned across the operational leadership. So at Inventure, I like to think of it as a matrix between operational leadership and functional leadership. So we've got, marketing, technology, finance, people, all these functional leaders, matrix across the operational leadership, right? So we've got Audely, Crowdclear Capital, all these different units that get to leverage all these functional leaders, right? So with that, we get to start turning it into more of something like this, right? there's that cold start here that gets assisted with all this functional leadership with the expertise of this person. So anyway, that's what a Venture Studio is, and that's what we're doing at Venture.